Okay, so I made a video explaining this, and this is part one. That will be part two, okay? And I will put them together. So it's going to be the clip after this one. In the comments, I want you to say if you prefer this 6-minute presentation or your attention span prefers a more annoying, faster speaking presentation. Okay, because at this point, I've narrowed it down to my core viewers, whether they're gang stalkers, family members, friends, anonymous people, women with a crush on me. God has brought you to me for a reason. So put in the comments, and I'll leave the comments open even to the trolls. The fundamentals of martial arts are the core. It's the essence. You can't escape that. For example, we'll say a race. The core principles of our race is whoever wins, crosses the finish first wins. If you violate that and say, you know what, we're going to make it so whoever has the coolest car wins, then it's no longer a race. That's why application of the car is more important than presentation. So it's the same in martial arts, really. The application is more important than the presentation, and the ancestors would have agreed. They say, look, you need to apply what we taught you in a way that's consistent. Stop doing it to make your people look good and to make people get rich, okay? Long ago, the staff was a variation of the short sticks and the clubs, okay? And these things, carpenters, Jesus was a carpenter, right? And we talk about bow stands, right? And bows and arrows and making weapons. And carpenters, blacksmiths, and these sorts of people made weapons. Now, among other things, an alchemist kind of gave them the formula to do so. And this was seen as a violation of the culture. It goes that deep. It's saying, because now we're changing the weapons and we're changing the manner in which war is fought. For the same reason, if we said, you know what, we're settling disputes by wrestling. And then someone comes one day and says, you know what, we're settling it by shooting each other. You see what I'm saying? It seemed like, well, yeah, there's new technology, but this is our core culture. And we can't stray away from these values that are attached to the ancient paradigm, which you people seem to not understand. And so they bring in these new forms of martial ways, and they try to represent them as martial arts, okay? There's nothing spiritual, but for example, about UFC fighting. There's nothing traditional. It's not a part of our heritage. It's a part of multiculturalism and transforming society into the type of people the corporate elite wants them to be, not brave warriors who are devout. That's why it's a war on, radical Islam. One might say it's also a war on radical Christianity, radicalism in general, how Masons termed it in Pike's Morals and Dogma, fanatics, radical martial artists, extreme martial artists, as opposed to extreme Western sports. Do you see what I'm saying? This is a cultural problem here. America's problem is cultural. And the elite are hurting us the most by separating us from who we are, the fundamentals, the core of who we are. For the same reason you can't allow yourself to be separated from who you are is the same reason we can't allow them to redefine martial arts competitions to make themselves look good, because that's separating us from who we are. Martial arts is a central part of who we are. Whether we are martial artists or we respect them or they're part of our culture. We say, oh, wow, those Egyptian guys, they were great warriors. So stick fighting Osirian priests. You secret societies serve Western materialism and not God. That is your problem. That is your general problem. There might be one or two of you that have it right, but certainly there's not enough of you to do it right. And for that reason, I believe that all secret societies should be dissolved. And I believe that we need to have a true religious system that reflects an African perspective of Christianity, which isn't, oh, black power. It's, we are all Africans. It's kind of like Bob Marley. What is Bob Marley, right? What is Rastafari? And I'm not saying we should be that, but that's an example of a way they went with it. The core is whatever Christ taught. The way they went with it is Catholicism and so on. So you can't represent the core by being something, a way someone went with it, by being a Rasta, for example. You can't say, I truly represent the core scientifically, when you went that way with it. You see what I'm saying? Which may have been the way they wanted you to go. But If it contradicts the core, if we can prove, for example, Catholicism beyond any doubt, and I don't want to start any controversies here, if we can prove that it contradicts the core, then it is false doctrine. If we can prove that UFC contradicts the core, which I have, then it is not martial arts, it is a fighting sport or something else. Ultimate fighting, not martial arts, a martial way known as ultimate fighting. I am the top martial artist because at the core are the fundamentals of percussive arts of striking and transferable skills shown through sparring. And like I said before, and Spider Loke said, ironically on the internet, he became popular. He said, y'all don't want to spar. Because universally that's understood. It's like, look, if I tested your click out right now, would you be ready? You know, if we had a little rumble right fast, you know, or would you all get stomped out and be like, oh, that's it? You know, I told you you're not tough enough. How does that transfer to the guns? If we walk up in your face and say, what? And you back down like a bitch, you know, logically we assume, hey, chances are if they do man up enough to fight, they're probably a pussy. You see what I'm saying? There's certain transferable principles that it doesn't take a genius to see. You see, the moral will is a transferable principle from walking around to warfare, you know? That's why when I stand on my own 10 toes, it automatically puts me above other martial artists through actions when they don't. When I adhere to sacred morality, I'm now another step above them. And by the time you get to they can't beat me sparring, well, I'm the fucking dapper pharaoh. Who the fuck are you? That's where we're at now. 3 years, almost 2 months. On the 20th of this month, it will be 2 months. $4,000 challenge. You have till the end of this year, and I will retire because of all the drugs that you've put me through, all the smoking and drinking I've done as a result. And weed is now legal where I live, you know, and that's not necessarily marijuana, in case you feds are crying. You know, you're not going to come here and give me a hard time. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, because you stressed me out, sabotaged my love life. I started smoking marijuana because all the things that you put me through messed up my eyes. I remember I showed you the prescription, dehydrated me, had me eating unhealthy. By the time you get through with it, I'll be around 36. I'll be 36 around that time. Okay, when, you know, on December 20th of this year. Okay, I'm done after that, and have retired as the top martial artist in American history. And if any of you have the honor to any of you believe that I'm wrong, and you have honor, you must beat me sparring. Or history will reflect that you made bitch-ass excuses and the whole fucking martial arts world was chuckling saying y'all don't want to spar, you secret society, government collaborating bitches. Stop helping psychological operations units make the white power structure and the Zionist agenda look good, you globalist internationalist ninnies, you governing class kleptocrats, you banking filth, you collaborator helper fucking scum. Stand for what is right. Anyone who doesn't have the moral will to stand for what is right doesn't deserve to be a leader. If they don't, you know, and they're not certain, no one is as qualified to be a leader as I am. And I'm not challenging the president's authority or anything like that. I'm not challenging, my kingdom is not of this world. But those of you who are spiritual or are religious, who are martial artists, who are of Abrahamic faiths or Buddhism, you must give me my respect or you're a fucking hypocrite. I promise to God. Thank you.